I don't want to say that you shouldn't transition or live out in the world as a man presenting as female or identifying as trans, because that's your own right. That's where you came from. We live in a world that we're free to be who we want to be. That's the beauty of this whole thing, that you can express yourself as trans. Right?
Yeah, this is America. I am curious, I guess. Do you feel like people should live for the reactions of those around them? Or like, should you not transition because you might give people the ooh factor, I guess is a way that I'm gonna phrase that. Because you've talked about this in videos before, so I'm letting you know, I'm not saying this out of the blue. You have talked about this, so that's why I want to get your thoughts here so we can talk about it. I didn't really like your take in the video, I'm not gonna lie.
I can appreciate that. And if I could maybe clarify my position on that. So it is true that most of us trans people, when we live as a trans person, like I was, you are living in a world that expects you to present a certain way. Not that that's right, but I think mostly what I was trying to get across is that that's a struggle that, like for me, when I realized it was a struggle every day, every time I go out in the world, I'm giving them that ooh factor. They're looking at me weird. Nobody ever interacted with me in a negative way, surprisingly. In all those years and all the places I went, I never had anybody tell me I didn't belong in that bathroom. And certainly not because I was passing. But I guess the fact is we do live in a world that expects gender norms and gender binaries, so it makes it difficult for someone trying to live comfortably in the world where that exists. But the fact is everyone should be loving and open to any expression at all. So I don't want to say that you shouldn't transition or live out in the world as a man presenting as female or identifying as trans, because that's your own right. That's where you came from. We live in a world that we're free to be who we want to be. That's the beauty of this whole thing, that you can express yourself as trans.
Yeah, this is America.
Right. It's a land of the free and dreams come true. I just recognize that there are a lot of people out there that are very weirded out by the thing, and it's not that you should not put yourself in those spaces because it's weirding them out. They should get over themselves and get over what's causing them to be so weirded out. But the reality is that because so many people are weirded out, that's the world we live in, and we're going to be faced with that. So I like to try to just make people aware that if you are going to go out in the world presenting that way, that's just something you have to expect. It's going to happen, and it's not a good thing. It shouldn't happen. People should just see another human being as another human being, regardless of how they present. But we live in a world that doesn't work that way, sadly. It's getting more and more. I love
the world is fluid. Like you said, people are fluid, and the world is fluid, society is fluid. I guess that's a follow-up, is do you think that making people kind of confront that ooh factor in their brains is forcing them to move forward? Or like forcing them to advance mentally, for lack of a better term. I know that's not right, like the right like way to phrase that, and like a lot of people are gonna be mad at me in the comments for that one, but you know what I mean?
I think I hear what you're laying down, and I think that's why we've gotten to where we're at now. It's because enough trans people have been in the world. It has become enough of a norm in the world that yes, people have been forced to face this as they're confronted with it more often. Back years ago, when you, like for me, when I only saw one trans person in all like 30 years of life or whatever, when you're not around something, you're not exposed to something, you don't know how to handle it. And so I discovered going out in the past couple of years as my female self, most of the places I would go to, they would just treat me like normal. And that was, at first, that was weird to me, because I was like, I expected to be treated weird and poorly, but I was just welcome and accepted everywhere I went, even into women's circles, women's healing circles, the people running the circle, the women running the circle, saying, yeah, welcome. And now people tell me, you know, you never belonged there, right, in the first place. Well, perhaps not, but I identified so fully that I was a female that I fully believed I did belong there. Yeah.
Do you feel like there were things you learned in those spaces that like helped you advance? Because that's one thing that I think a lot is like, sometimes I even like agree with a lot of your takes of like, maybe I wouldn't have even needed to have transitioned if I had learned, if I knew what I knew now, maybe I didn't have to be trans, right? But matter is, I am trans, I'm here, right? Like I'm in it. And at this point, you know, I've been building myself as a woman for more of my adult life than I was as a man. So it would be harder to like throw that away and rebuild everything. Anyways, yeah. I guess what I'm asking is like,